My name is Juan Muskus. I just recently graduated from FIU, my undergrad. I got a bachelor's in international relations, a minor in psychology, and I'm a current student in the business master's program here. So
great. Go ahead and bring us a little. Can you bring us back to that day, 10 years ago, September 11th?
I was in high school, and I was in I believe it was my fourth period. And I was in history class, American history class. And my teacher, I remember, was my soccer professor, my soccer coach at that time. And we were having class, and then we had the TV on. As usual, he always had the TV on. And it started happening, and it was unbelievable. It wasn't something that we believed right away as soon as we started seeing it. And I remember my teacher he just stopped and he was just staring at the TV, and the kids, all of us, we couldn't believe it was happening. It was like, no way, there's no way that's happening right now. And unfortunately, it was happening, and pretty quickly too. And then I remember when we caught on to the TV, the first tower had already been hit, and then the second tower got hit, and then the towers went down, and then it was pretty intense. It was an intense feeling in the classroom, very silent. I remember not a word was spoken that day.
Tell me then what your thought process was. Where were you in your life? Were you a senior? Were you a junior? What was your?
I was a junior. I was a junior, and I had always had this thing for the military. I always I liked it. I had family members that were in the military, and it was kind of in me. I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted, but I for some reason I knew I didn't want to go to college right away. And after 9/11, it was a calling. It was perfect, because that's exactly what I did as soon as I graduated high school. I graduated high school, and 2 weeks later I shipped off to basic training.
What branch of the service?
I joined the Army. I signed an airborne ranger contract, and right after being in Ranger Regiment in the Army, I decided to throw in my package for special operations, and I did. And then, a lot of people join the military for a lot of reasons, but I literally wanted to join and do work, do military work, nothing else. That's why I wanted to join, and that's exactly what I did. I went in. As soon as I graduated from the courses, I started deploying, and I did for about 3 years consecutive. I did 4 months in and 1 month back. So I deployed quite a number of times into several combat areas. So from Iraq to Afghanistan and several places in Africa. Africa, not really combat zones, but I guess you can consider them in a way. But yeah, Afghanistan and Iraq, and then different provinces in each one. Combated several times in both locations, but it's what I joined the military for. I became a Green Beret, and went on from there.
Okay. Did you get what, you went into there, as you said, it was a calling for you. Do you know exactly what it was that you were searching for, and did you get it?
I did. I wanted to give. I wasn't sure how, but I wanted to give, and I did, because I gave a lot of my time, and I wasn't sure I wanted to get out. And I had promised my parents I would go to college, and time came where the contract ended, and that's exactly what I did. I got out, and I figured if I still wanted it, I'd come back in. I didn't have a problem. I'd come back in as an officer, and I came out. I went to Miami-Dade College here in Miami. I finished there, and then I went ahead and came to FIU and graduated at FIU. And it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do anymore, but I knew I wanted to stay somewhat in that field. So it's kind of what I do now. I'm still in that in that military atmosphere, in that world.
Yet as a civilian.
As a civilian, yes. So.
Tell me your decision to join, especially in the wake of 9/11. How did your family and friends accept that decision?
My family hated it. My mom mostly. She didn't want it. Yeah, she really hated that decision. I remember they always say you'll never forget the day you get picked up by your recruiter, and you won't. I remember my mom was devastated. She didn't want me to go, but I had to. It was the way I felt was right. So they got over it. You know, they visited everywhere where I went to school, everywhere where I graduated. You know, I had the honor of having my dad to like pin my wings on my uniform, my parachute wings, everything. You know, it was fun. It was interesting. So it was like a family thing being in the military as well for me, because I did get to see not a lot of them, but they followed me. So it was cool.
What about your friends? Did they support your decision? Or?
They did.
Did they understand it?
Maybe not, but they supported it. That was enough. I didn't ask for anything more, so, you know, and they stayed my friends. They're still my friends today, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Knowing what you know today, would you still make that decision?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And it's, you know, the military is not a bad gig. You know, it's not, you know, it has its pros and its cons, but, you know, that's why you weigh them, you know, and it's not for everybody, but if it is for you, it's for you, and you'll like it, and you'll get out and you'll still like it, you know, and that's it, you know.
What was the best part of your experience?
The best part of my experience, I think it was being part of a team, because I still miss that today. I still miss having a really tight group of friends that I interacted with all the time. Because I'm not saying I don't have that right now, but, you know, you really don't. I really don't have that to that extent. You know, these are people that would give their life for you. I'm not saying my friends right now won't, but, you know, it's just this camaraderie that you have, and it feels good. And you miss it when you leave.
What was it? Have you just always had an interest in international relations, or why did you gravitate toward that?
I'm not a firm believer in diplomacy, because as we can see through history, it hasn't really worked that much. But it was definitely, I didn't go into internet because of that. It was more because I wanted to understand why is it that you can't really use diplomacy all the time, and to use that to our advantage, you know, because unfortunately we live in a world of survival, and it's interesting to see how, you know, countries at that level interact just as people do in a town level, you know, and it's interesting to see that and to understand that, and I wanted to apply that into a different type of career path. I've always wanted to be intelligent into the world of intelligence analysis, you know, and it's worked out for me, and that's why I went ahead and minored in psychology as well. I figured it would be a good mix, you know, to understand people and to understand states at the same time.